Hi, I'm Marlon Price again. In this video, I want to show you a suggested method of organizing your policy review so that it minimizes the amount of work you have to do on any one policy. If you'll take a look at the computer here, this is a policy standard table, and it's a method of making sure that you only review a policy one time. We've had a number of instances where agencies would work on a policy to meet standard A, and then later on find out that standard C also goes in that policy, and they would have to reissue that policy again. To make sure you don't duplicate that work and have to reissue the same policy over and over, this is a tool that you should use. Whether you use an Excel spreadsheet or simply a piece of paper, it doesn't make any difference. Now, the first thing you want to do is determine if your policy manual is one that you want to keep. If it is, that's great. If you just want to make the minor adjustments in the policy manual to meet the recognition program standards, that's great. If you choose not to keep your policy manual and you're out looking for one, and you've maybe gotten one from another agency, or maybe you want to use the sample policy manual that the TPCA provides, one way or another, you need to develop your table of contents first. The table of contents is very important because you want to list the table of contents down the left side of the page, and this is the one that we used for the sample policy manual. And it even includes some of your patrol SOPs. Maybe you have a holding facility SOP or a communications SOP. Wherever those, whatever documents you use for written directives in your agency, you want to list those down this side. Then you want to open the Recognition Program Standards Manual and go through the standards manual one standard at a time. And when you read that standard, make a determination of where in your policy manual that standard fits. If there is no policy within your manual and you're going to have to make a new policy to meet that standard, then you need to make a new policy entry down at the bottom so that you can work on that policy when you have the time. Now, as you go through the standards, wherever that standard fits in your policy manual, you want to list it out beside that policy. That way, when you get ready to review, let's say for instance, law enforcement role and authority, you're going to review that policy in your manual, then you need to look at standards number 105, 106, 107, 307, 319, 605, 101, 203, and 810. So you may want to make sure that policy, as you review it, as you modify that policy to meet our standards, meets all of those standards. If it does, that's great. You make whatever editing changes you need to make for that policy to meet all parts of the standard, and then you can send it out for staffing or get it reviewed by your command staff or whatever you need to do. Once that policy is issued then, and the officers it's sent to the officers and they sign receipt for that policy, then that signed receipt can possibly be used as proofs of compliance in all of those standards that you see listed. So one of the things that you'll want to do, obviously, is to create a policy standard table first to keep you from having to reissue policy later on. So this is a tool that our users group developed, and it's been very helpful in a number of agencies to keep their workload down and keep them from having to reissue the same policy over and over. Hope this helps. Thanks.